I just see it's like a big planet. Very beautiful green leaves instead of grass covering the ground. They're shaped like flowers. In each flower pot, there is a big yellow egg with like brownish dots. And there are little creatures coming out by breaking the egg from inside. And that's exactly, I see them, and that's exactly how I saw you before the session in my visualization, the back of my head. You're like this brownish creature. You look like, I try to compare it to something. Like when you draw a bear, but you don't have fur. Mm-hmm. No, what would be no better comparison would be okay, like it's like a humanoid form. Imagine a gnome combined with an elf. Yeah, that's a better explanation because you're definitely not like a not a bear. There's no hair. I don't see that. But it's like you have this 5 fingers. Actually, the toes look like 4 toes. And you're kind of like short, muscular, and you have this cone head. You look like that movie. What was it called? The elves or the sounds of the music. This popular movie. Oh, I can't even remember. The trolls, right? Well, it's like the trolls, but you don't have the you have the cone head, but you don't have the hair on it.
Hmm.
It's like light brown skin and just like this big, the eyes are interesting. They're light brown, but there's like a green, like a snowflake inside. That just like the shape of it, the pupil kind of round was a snowflake. And just looking at me, and you look like this little puppy who were just born, just so hopeless, helpless. I mean, and I see the big trees with giant orange and green leaves. And there's some berries, and you just like grab a berry and eat it. The funny part is that you are semi-transparent, and I literally see like a berry going down your through your body, and it just like explodes like energy, poof, and you become happy, and your eyes go like, yeah, they get brighter. It's really funny. It's just like a slow motion cartoon I'm watching. And I'm touching it. It's actually a real planet.
Do you know where?
I'm trying to see the mongoose number 8. There's mongoose number 7, and they go in a spiral motion. This is not this universe.
No.
It's this like a huge universe. It's rather light green in color. It's not like our colors, like multiple. And then there are spirals, and the spirals, and each level of a spiral, there are 7 different planets. It's kind of like they're little beads on a string, but the string goes in a spiral. And in between those spirals, there's like platforms, big platforms, and they're flat, and at the bottom they're going like this. They're like held in space. I've seen drawings like that before. And these platforms are specifically designed for the beings incarnated on different planets, those the older ones, the wise ones, to come and have meetings together, discuss some things, how to expand in their consciousness, how to create something new. And also they send out beings. It's like the like exploration crew to check out other places where they can also can incarnate according to their vibrational, according to their frequency, and if they can sustain being in the body of certain beings in different universes. And you're just curious. But right now, I see the interesting thing happening. So you basically have these interesting spaceships. They look like they look crisscross, like this. They just go, and then around them there's a tunnel. So imagine crisscross and a circle around, but the circle is like a tunneling system connecting all the four sides. And they all like covered. It looks from far away like a disc, but if you look closely, that's how it's the base of the disc is like that. The disc is golden. It's like golden in colors, very bright. It's an interesting material too because when I touch it, it kind of molds under my finger. I can even put my hand over and I'll be imprinted on it. But then when I remove it, it flattens out by itself. It repairs. It's like a breathable thing. So you just go inside through this little opening on the side, and you decide to take only 17 of you on this spaceship, even though it can hold many more than 17. I understand. You're very careful about not letting anybody on your planet. And that's why you build these platforms in between the spirals. Spirals are needed because each floor of those 7 planets are in different densities. So you can kind of progress, incarnate. All right. And so you got to the 8th density. And I see you're thinking, should I go to number 9? It's like going to a different floor to live, but your body is different. Some things, the way you create them is different, and understanding. The main idea is your understanding changes or by experiencing life on each floor. And I'm talking about like spirals. I mean, they're like giant levels, so it's like a huge giant city, looks like would look like the whole world map put together, and there would be one spiral floor compared to the Earth. And yeah, you just board the ship. There's something you're unhappy about. There's something you're unhappy about that you want to create in your universe, and you're just lacking knowledge. Something about the matter, how it works, how to experience and create more dense environments, because it's also interesting to see. I mean, it's easy to shape shift into whatever you want, but then it's interesting for you to see what happens if you cannot do that. and whether your consciousness, at what point your consciousness cannot influence the body, and how fast it would influence the body at different levels of creation, of density. So you're just going portal, simple portal. You go and live on Orion, but it's way, way, way back. Even before the Orion Wars happened. I see it looks beautiful. I see it looks green. There are like palm trees almost. They look like palm trees, but there are more layers of they just literally go the trunk and then layers, 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 layers like this. And in those layers, there's interesting birds live, but they have human faces with the little beaks. And there are other interesting creatures that look like foxes, but they have multicolored fur around. It goes in colors like stripes, but they're like rainbow colors. It's really interesting. The reason why it's all created that way. I mean, I seriously see like a frog hopping, but the frog is pretty big. It's like a dog as opposed to a frog in on Earth. And it looks pretty much the same, but when it looks at you, it strikes you like as if it was a person. And they can totally talk to you. They asked, so you parked your spaceship here, and the frog asks you, what what dimension you from? And you live on Orion 3 lives. And 3 lives, each of them is around 350 years
Wow.
that you live. There also, I see felinoid beings come, and but they come by outside of your planet you greet. It's like just their spaceship looks like a flat leaf, like a leaf from a tree, kind of like oval, kind of like that. And they feel benevolent. They feel fine. But then the giants come. Energetically, feels like a hurricane going across the universe, and the giants came to destroy and to take over, and they're searching for um combining their forces with somebody else because they see them go into Orion, but it's further, it's past the Orion belt on top. And they find those. So basically, they take over one of the planets where it's like chameleons.
Mhm.
There's like chameleons live there. They took over that planet and they start hybridizing chameleons and lizards. And I see like very evil-looking chameleon walking around. He has like a big leather belt, and there are almost like bombs, like military something, equipment or weapon attached to the belt. And he's watching over. It's like a colony of humans. It's like there a little village. There are houses. It's built kind of like in triangular shape. There are houses 1, 2, 3, 4 by 4, and then in the middle there's just like a ground where they're supposed to build something. because I see them, they're using those humans for using their telekinetic abilities to construct a mountain and shapeshift it into a pyramid there. The humans came from Pleiades, and you're like observing all of it, being on Orion, and you see like, but it's not only about Orion, it's about the whole uh, universe and the negativity coming over full force on it, and you are just, I just see like out of the blue, I see you on Orion in a different, it looks like cage, and you're in the cage on the lock. And I see other beings like you on the lock, all the 17 of you from your spaceship right there locked in. So you came to study, to explore, but in reality you got caught. The thing is, you don't really know what evil is, and that's your biggest problem,
Mhm.
because you had no idea that that could happen to you. And then they start experimenting. I feel like there's a giant, like a global type, massive laboratory research going on. And they took DNA from all the galaxies they could possibly take. I see the main ones are Andromedians, Arcturians, Pleiadians, Sirians, and Venetians. Those five. And they're just mixing and they're just mixing it, because I see they also put humans in the cages. Also, they use original humans from Mars to insert, and they use the Gray's DNA. Oh, at the same time, I see on Earth in the underground facilities in Antarctica and other places. They create chimeras. There's like human DNA combined with animals.
Mhm.
And to them, you look like an animal. So they want to mix you, take your DNA and mix it with a human DNA. But they're doing it with Atlantean DNA because they want to. Atlanteans are very strong, and they wanted to keep the strength and keep the DNA of the strong for their own. That's how they formed all these groups, in which they would, it's kind of like colonize Earth, split it up, and use the strongest DNA for creating races that they think that they could influence the most. In this way, they could control Earth, because they also need strong leaders who would influence a lot of people. Uh, that's why they took your DNA also. And then I see it's like 33 lives. This is number 34. You've lived. But to me, it comes fake. Like the lives are all fake. It's really your first life. They wanted to give you the impression. You know what they did? There's a process. There's this big, I wanna say, it looks like a huge giant refrigerator thingy. It's like a capsule, but it's rectangular. It's rectangular. And it's standing up in a vertical position. and it's on the in that lab on Orion. You go into it, and it literally spins from like from above. The energy comes and starts wrapping around you, and that wrapping around you creates. It's almost like a plastic on you. It's like a plastic bag all on you, like somebody put it on you. And this is the programming that they used. And through that plastic, wait, they did it to all of you. All 17 of you are in plastic bags. And that's why you don't. Okay, here's the feelings I feel from you. Lonely, by myself, nobody understands, do not resonate with my body, do not feel like I can trust anybody because it's a new place. I feel it's a new place. I know it's a new place. And I feel like it's an artificial place for me. I don't belong here. And I need to find out why I feel these feelings because everybody else seems to be enjoying it in your perception. But I don't even know why I look this way. And this is like, and I want to kind of like say it in this interesting voice because what I see standing in front of me in the energy sphere is that little brownish being with this big green eyes with a little bit of brown there. So it just like, and you like a little gnome. So you look at me. I don't understand this. What are they doing? What are the rules here? Everybody seems to be making their own rules, and it's not how it is on our other planets. We go by the same rule, we quietly form groups who does the best for the benefit of all, and we function that way. We contribute group by group, and we grow in consciousness and in progressing together. Here you seem to be beating everybody up and trying to stop the progress of each other. So that's on reverse, right?
Mm.
I just want to take you in my arms. You're like a little, you should see this creature. You know, it looks like that Grogu guy. You look a little bit like Grogu.
I don't know him.
Yeah, it's like from Star Wars. I'll show my kids are obsessed. And the
Oh,
whole time I was thinking, who reminds me? Because I never really watched Star Wars. 'Cause I just don't never feel like it. Yeah, but he looks like that but his ears are different. His ears are like this open holes. And it's got a little bit of this sticking out, but it kind of flat on there, on behind. And you say that you're an ancient being. You feel ancient as opposed to this. You feel
mhm,
like you came to the wrong place and it's too new for you, and everything is too immature.
mhm,
Everybody's just too trusting, too immature. And I see that you just like you were thrown to incarnations all over the place. I mean, your crew members are not even there are only 5 here on Earth. The other ones are in different locations. Hmm.
mhm,
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. There are there's some energy planets that we don't really know about and we don't see that they made them incarnate there. There's something about the terraforming of those planets that they wanted to do, and I see they inserted by saying that I see just a classical reptilian guys right now, the green ones, green reptilians,
mhm,
and they inserted some sort of device inside. It looks like a rounded square, rounded corners. It's got openings on all the sides and four slots in each one. And they just put programs in there. And I see that the programs are pulsating inside the essence of the planet, making it low vibrational because they want to colonize more planets and they need more space to separate the souls by their consciousness level and by their abilities uh, based on their etheric DNA. But there's a whole hierarchy of those reptilians. This are more like a warrior class, but they listen to the kind of milk color skin reptilians. Those are the ones in control on the Rhine, and then they in control of the lab, and they keep all the beings in the it's like database. Looks like. But there's also an interesting thing connected to there. They have a huge spaceship right underneath the dome, the Earth, and they hold this. It's like a system of portals. One goes inside another, and then they kind of fall together, and then they stretch out, and then they fall together. And it's very sneaky because you have little strings from each of you, from your crew members attached to this portal system. And when your physical body dies, you don't even do anything. It's just like you get pulled out. But the thing is, as I said, the number of lives is really not what it is. I get that it's like your first life here, and the other lives are all numbers running from up to down in that plasticky looking um, capsule made out of strange substance that put over your body. And that's why you also have this feeling that you got abandoned because you always go in groups. You never go by ourselves. That's just the structure of the planet, this the social structure. And you sometimes you go on to 10 um, humanoid forms, and other time you go by like you came by 17. So um, basically I see you being put. They would take you to different planets in the solar system just to. It's basically they would separate parts of your soul because it's very condensed energy soul, and they would pull it out, take your 5% of your DNA, mix it up with the DNA of beings who live on different planets. Let's say Venus or Jupiter or Uranus or Neptune, and then they would create hybrid, and then they would just want to see how you, if you would adapt, because you look like very interesting creature to them. They've never dealt with beings like that before. But they don't, I get a feeling they don't really know what to do with you because you keep quiet, 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 but you have moments of rebellion where you absolutely go crazy in your energy sphere. It's if you were trying to get away and you're saying that I need to go back. You cannot keep me forever. I also see you as a little girl, and you're in some sort of tube. Looks like a tunnel, and you're right in the middle of the tunnel, and everybody calls on you, but you're like paralyzed from fear, and you're afraid of going to either direction, and you're stuck in the tunnel of darkness forever. But that's your fake life, and they've done it on purpose to you because they wanted you to separate and alienate yourself from others and be afraid of them.
Hmm.
So now that you know about it, you go back to that machine. No, even more. You go all the way back to when you decide to go check out Earth as a high density planet, but it wasn't heavily populated in. I get this feeling like very strong that almost everybody in the creation knew about the formation of Earth, knew about the grand idea behind it, how all the animal species and flora wanted, you wanted to combine. It was getting combined basically. So it's like going to a museum. A museum has all the parts of the globe, right? Uh, we'll call it that way, put together in one spot. So it's a grand exhibit that you can also go and experience it. And you can leave anytime you want. But then by then I see this flat common consciousness created, artificially created. It's held by a ring. It's like it's almost like a photon belt, but it's not. It's like an energy informational belt held above the earth under the dome. And I see, here's the thing. So it's like I see you have it too. It's a metallic little string connected to your spinal cord where the tailbone is, right there. It's like an antenna. But the thing is, you did something. There's a little on antenna. There's little like a little box, like a remote control box. And I see that you turned it off. You turned it off was your intention to turn it off. You didn't want to be controlled anymore. Because that whole layer, when the physical body is asleep, I literally see people, like a lot of people in beds at night time. And when they sleep, they all the programs are being uploaded into their physical brains
Mhm.
through that common energy field
Mhm.
of consciousness, common consciousness, whatever you call it. So you refuse to participate in that, but you're still connected to it. So I can take that one out. And there's three children. There's three children connected to it's like to your right hip. They're sitting right there. They're sitting in your upper area where reproductive organs are.
Mhm.
There's a Wolfgang. That's what his name is. He's sad. There's one boy and two of his other brothers. Let's go see how they got here. How did they find you? Oh, she was lonely, I hear. Oh, she was lonely when she was little. She felt it a lot. And we were lonely because we were abandoned and brought to an orphanage. And then we escaped. And then we died in the woods because we didn't have food. and water, but we didn't want to be there. It's like three brothers. They speak Romanian, I think. Of course, they speak telepathic, but in that life, they did that, and I see them wandering around in their etheric, holding hands, and then they come onto your energy sphere because you're sitting on the bed and crying. Something about your friend, something that you didn't get, something that you wanted, didn't play in something, they didn't include you in some game, something like this. Looks like you're upset about some of the because you didn't have social skills. I guess that you didn't have some social skills that normally kids would have, simply because you're a different creature, you're not a human being. It was hard for you to adapt. It would be upsetting a lot. So they found you by this frequency of those feelings. That vibration made them get attracted to you. So you can release them. I'm telling your subconscious you can open a portal. In the portal, you created a beautiful wooden house, nice sun, and the woods. The woods was lots of trees, was a big meadow with flowers, different animals. The animals talk to them, and you feel like they'll be safe there. It's a high vibrational place, and you're offering them to try to walk into this portal and experience it if they like it. The oldest, he's like in charge, which reminds me like Peter Pan. It really does. It's really everything's like reminds me of some fairy tale or something I've seen already. Um, he said, "Well, I'm not sure we want that, but the little one, Rudolph, Rudolph, sorry, he Rudy, he calls him. He says, Rudy, where you going? I want to explore there. Let's go build a treehouse. Okay. Max, are you coming? Yeah. They literally dress like the year 52, 53 comes to me. And they're going there. They like it there. They're running. They're playing with reindeers. I see little deers there too. Huh. So you were just asking, am I okay in there? Do you like the vibration? They say, oh yeah. And then you close the portal. So I see you light. I see you light, yellowish light, all bright, in your legs and that area. Then is the stomach. Stomach has some feelings and emotions. Misunderstood. It's like stands out all the time. Not understood, misunderstood, hard. Why is that? Why is that hard? What is this all about? Confusion. Confusion like a knot in there. So you take this energy and you transform it into the energy of clear, staying clear and understanding through analysis of different informational fields that come with people. And you can be just confident in that, knowing that you can also always go back on your timeline or speed up ahead of time and see what the outcome gonna be. because you have this ability. You also feel it. So you take this plastic out, you just pull it out from head. This like goes up like a plastic bag, and you put it in the portal. You draw a portal, put it in there. So that there's some little things and they're moving. Okay, I see like 5 by 5 by 5. There are four of them, and they're like little caterpillars, but they're combined, composed of 5 segments, and they're like round, but flat round, like a ring, but with the sides. And they're just moving in your body. They're moving to the right arm, they're moving to the left, they're moving to the heart area, circling there, moving into the throat, up on the jaw, going to the head. Some sort of technology that's supposed to move to guarantee the quality of the negative vibration that they need, especially when you're asleep, so they can siphon more energy from you. And they use your creative energy too, because you have different projects and ideas and sketches in your head. It's you're showing me you store like almost like sheets of paper with sketches of different universes, worlds, how they've been created, the ideas, how they came in place, and how the energies were combined in a form and an idea, it launched into space. And from one little dot of light, the whole universe was created. You have all of it. So you just take this powerful big magnet and you pull them out of yourself, out. Also, see, I keep seeing this planet all the time you came from. I see pink horses, energy horses. And they're like, the heads are darker and the body is lighter. They're not unicorns or anything, they just look like horses. So, you miss that planet.
Mm.
And you have 3 suns. The 2 suns come up and then they go down. They like come up, go down, and then another one emerges in the middle. And they look like that white, bright energy, all of them, all 3 the same color on that planet. And you just want to go back. You're going to go up to the spiral number 9 to experience life there. That's what you want. So you call on. So what you did, you just took a vacuum, kind of looks like a heart shaped, with a holding handle, and you pulled out all these 5 little. It's by 5. The 4 of them. Each one has 5 segments. So you pull them out, you just like magnetize them all into this vacuum. Through the vacuum out. Reptilians, I mean, they used a lot of different matrix programs running in your family
Yes.
to program you in a lot of ways. Also, almost like they're hanging on you. Your subconscious showed me you're like a Christmas tree and they're hanging all the doubts, all the negative emotions, all the family karma on you, like ornaments on a tree. That's what you're showing to me. And also responsibility, and here, you do it. It's your responsibility. Or it makes, or sometimes they make it so tough for you that you get confused because in your perception you're totally different. The way you decode this reality, it feels like a movie theater for you, and you for some reason is an actor in it,
Mhm.
and you don't want to be here as an actor. You want to be naturally creating out of your ideas, visions, and thoughts, but you were kept in the dark, just like that little girl in the tunnel that I saw, as you are, with that plastic thingy on top of you, preventing you from even see yourself, how you truly look like, and who you are, and connect closer to yourself. Because you're, in reality, you're just this very positive, happy being, very understanding and clear minded. And they, so the reason why I just wanted to explain those implants, they created those, is that they were gonna go to different parts. They would not go to that part where these little three boys were there, energy bodies were, because they were already sucking a lot of your energy from the, from like torso down, from chest, explain, the chest down. They were taking already 32% of you, and then the other 24, they were the reptilians were taken. Uh, and they've done a lot of hybrids. I see the number 20 now, but I see that a lot of them by now didn't make it. Something happened to them. Speaking of, so just looking at your head, there's kind of like three stripes on your head. There's a purple, blue, and transparent white. And he said it's because we had to control how she thinks sometimes. We wanted to, if we molded a scene for her by using her creative energy, by for creating a scene for her in her life to experience, so she can give us more energy, because that would provoke her for low vibrational emotions, we would just use those strips. And you're taking them off. You take off that, you unplug that from the spinal cord, from the tailbone already. Strips are gone. And that's it, because those things sometimes even would form a circle in your body. It was depending, it would always depend on the situation they set up for you. I feel like you lived through like a setup life, like sets of setup situations, one after another. You couldn't really breathe freely in between of them. And you just wanted, you're just like this little you in the cage, like, let me out of here type feeling. So you go all the way back where they took you and the other crew members, and you just cancel out that moment. There is a, there's a round looking contract. It's like a diagram of some sort. It has some percentages, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. He said, well, as she was growing, we would do more and more experiments. We would do more and more things with her. That's why it goes that way. It just for visual. It's a visual thing for us that we always do it. That's the this reptilian saying. I see three of them. I see the one cream skinned and the two green classical ones. right in the energy body. They're pretty buffed, but they're like muscular, and they have short tails. And the milk one, the milk skinned one, has a very long, thin tail, and overall he's much thinner. He's almost like a royal type reptilian.
Mhm.
And energy. So emotional body, emotional body, and actually mental and emotional bodies. They have some sort of, as if somebody created little plates, and they're like square plates, and you put them in. You stick them in to somehow disrupt the flow of energy, a flow of expressing yourself in the right way, in the right emotional, mental way. That was kind of like blocked all the way around those bodies. So what you do, you use the same exact magnet that you used before, was a huge suction, very, very powerful. You suck them all in. There are 11 of them, 6 in mental and 5 in emotional bodies. And you just throw this vacuum out in the portal. Then you just disconnect. Yeah, you basically you pronounce that you deny and delete all the moments in all the fake timelines, because see, the thing is, to activate the fake lives, they have to have at least 1% of your energy in there too, in them, so you would consider them as your own non-fake lives. There's some sort of technology. I don't really understand much how it works, but I see 1%, and he has to be somehow powering up the creation of this fake life that they create totally artificially. Sometimes they take original lives lived by souls in human bodies, and they twist and turn them. But other times they just make them up, and they're just like artificially created. So you go to your DNA, it's 118 strands, and golden reminds me of those spaceships, the color. And it's that energy is transparent white, but it's got the golden on the outside. It's like a tie-dye into golden. Um, you're just twisting and turning some of the strands. You're literally like a mechanic fixing something, fixing them back to normal. And then you just raise your vibration. You know what you did? You created this little pod in your energy sphere, just like in your planet, you have it. And you are sitting in this pod, and when you touch it, and then do like this motion, like this, um, you raise your vibration, you burn up all the chemical substances in your energy sphere, all the contamination from that is stuck on outside of your energy spheres, clusters of dust. And you say that your energy body is not stuck anymore in this plastic bag over your head. You can go visit yourself and see how it's going on that planet. Mm, but yeah, so basically, you didn't plan to come to Earth, but you ended up on Earth.
Mhm.
But you are clean. I mean, I know what you mean by the other lives, because I just see them totally fake. They were faked on purpose for you to be able to survive in this body, because you're kind of like, you're a little creature, but you have a very powerful energy that is condensed. And Because it is condensed, you also feel kind of small and little and condensed in your life, shy and all that, you know.
Mhm.
It's like somebody didn't let you grow. Somebody
Mhm.
didn't let you evolve and take up as much space as you need by the force of your essence.
Yes.
So you feel constricted. But now not anymore. You understand now how it goes and your subconscious showed it to you. But you created like a little pond there that you can go in. And there are also lilies, you know, like water lilies. They're just
Mhm.
like in the water. And there are butterflies and there are dragonflies, but they're different. They're energetic. They're made out of your energies. You're creating them and you're playing around with how they look like. It's almost as if you were painting them as an artist.
Mhm.
Different colors. There's bright yellow everywhere and light purple like lilac. And it smells like flowers. It smells like, is it lilac flowers that smell on the bushes with purplish?
Yeah.
Looks so good. So yeah, you can ask questions if you want. I see different. You're like so connected to the different little creatures. I even see creatures in the red. By the way, those red gnomes that they make in Netherlands and with red like cone-shaped hats, I
Yeah.
totally see them. They are right now. They live in the huge trees inside, and they live. They go underneath, and in there's they live in the root system of the tree underneath, and they use the trunk to go up.
Mhm. Oh,
Yeah, because they have different floors. It's like their house.
my
So,
happiest moments are in the woods.
yeah, but you're so connected to this. You've been this and that. You've been different creatures like that, like a
Mhm.
leprechaun, like a gnome, like that little brown little guy, and
Mhm.
fairies. You're connected to those too, but you say that they're really human forms. And the way the people describe them, it's because they're so light. They just self-propel, and it looks like the flow of air around them. Some of them don't even have the wings that they people draw.
I think my daughter is a fairy.
Uh, Blue and purple and pink and stripes. It goes like in stripes and waves. When you said about your daughter,
Oh,
and you
yeah.
see she's sitting on a giant. You know how they draw the mushrooms red with white spots? She's sitting
Hmm.
on the mushroom like this. And she's saying they're not poisonous, they're medicinal. They they they're lying to you. You just need to know the recipe, how to make it, so you can activate some abilities in you by using it and heal yourself energetically.
Mm.
Mm.
Okay, well,
Manta. Your daughter said your name is Manta.
Manta.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah. She's got this little face. It's prolonged. Little
Yeah,
tiny lips, little nose.
yeah. I think she resonates with that too.
Mm. She's very light.
Very light, yes.
Oh, it's so beautiful actually. There's some mushrooms. If you look underneath, it looks like somebody put lights underneath.
Huh.
And if it gets a little shaded, you can turn on the lights. Yeah.
And I have to live here.
Yeah, because they forced you into this. Because it's like every soul is a battery for them, essentially,
Hmm.
and also experimental object.
So, in the first week of May of 2017, something I saw, I had some visions of um, a a synagogue, a crystal synagogue attached itself to my soul. And I felt very bad afterwards. It took me 6 months to come out of it.
Yes, it's because I know what you're doing. I see some very like literally black figures. By the way, the reptilians are gone from your energy sphere too. I see the black figures. You know, like they draw tall grays. It's like tall grays but totally black.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing on them. I can't even make out their eyes or anything. It's just like the shadow form of energy that
Mm-hmm.
came over you and got it and attacked you because you were trying to help with conducting the energies from space into here. And because you're like, the thing is, it's like this: you connected to your own self up there telepathically and wanted to help you yourself in this energy sphere as an energy body to burn up this plastic layer that you just took off that was covering you and preventing you from growing, from feeling. For you, it's important to feel inside that you're growing. It's not like physical, right? And because you try to take it off, it's like this reptilian, the white one, the beige one, sends those figures to you, and they're like really, they're not real. They're like matrix projections, projections of the matrix to make you scared, to make you feel bad, to make you feed more of the hybrids that they were creating from your DNA. No, so it was just done for that.
And what about the hybrids? What are is there children, hybrid children?
Yeah, but I see that they all either experiment. There's two groups. There's one for experiments, another one for breeding.
Mm-hmm.
And you just disconnected from them because there's no point. They're not, then the plans were to make them semi-aggressive so they can pretend that they're humans, infiltrate different different planets and galaxies where humanoid forms are present and bring in a virus of low vibration with them into those incarnations. That was the idea. And you don't want to deal with it anymore. You never approved it. So you just are disconnected from them. You cancel it
Okay.
because you don't want to give them all this energy you've been giving them.
Okay. So after the that event in 2017, I had another vision of some letters and fire, a code, and the letters were
Too.
Hebrew letters, and they were fire letters.
Mm.
Um, it was either four or five, and one of them was The second one was, the first one was very golden, and the second one was very black. I I I just intuited that that was some sort of code that I was to transfer, and I did not complete the mission because of something to do with my DNA. Is that all bogus?
I see that what they were trying to do is, well, first of all, the codes are were bleeding from the vertical tubes where hybrids were. They were in the tubes, and each of them had like a code right at the bottom. I see numbers 0737 when you were talking. And then I started seeing like a hollow trunk emerging from the ground. And you're telling me that there's a projection of Earth. When the chains from the Earth are gone, there's going to be giant trees emerging from the ground, and it's going to be overnight when they're grown, fully grown.
Mm.
Because it's like a support system. All the projections have to change energetically, vibrationally, to support the emergence, to support the formation of the new world that we're gonna form with our energies after we destroy this one. But the how do you destroy destruct? I mean, it's not that you really destroy. You cannot destroy energy. You can only
Yeah.
transform energy. But in your expression, you're saying that because people should understand their programming is destructive inside of them, so they have to work on themselves to change the programming. And that's from that comes this idea of, you have to change it.
Mm.
So, but you're showing me like invisible forces like breaking the ice in the Arctic, and it's falling apart, and it's opening up the Greenland there.
Mm.
So,
Wow.
but yeah, it's very interesting. It's like I'm thinking, what is this I'm seeing? It's like literally from here, there's like a huge hollow trunk going, and inside the hollow trunk, there's gonna be elevator. This is like a big platform. It doesn't really look like a real elevator, just like a platform, and you can, but the platform, it's like a jump room. You can jump into any dimension, any corner of the universe, any galaxy, whatever you want. This is really fascinating.
Hmm.
They're like cosmic antennas. Those trees are gonna be here.
Maybe
You're
we
showing
used to
it to
have
me.
them.
We used to have them. It's
Yeah,
still gonna become coming back.
it sounds like we used to also have those before.
Hmm.
Um, while I sleep, I get a lot of interference. I have, I haven't, well, it's, it sort of stopped in the past summer, and I thought maybe it was all done. And then recently, there was another experience, and this one was like just the most despicable, uh, vile thing that they showed me. But they show me things to play with my energy, I guess. Hurting animals, vile stuff. Um, they showed me something. They
It's a
showed me,
hybrids who are doing it. It's just that they you because you were connected to them, you could see through their eyes what they were
um,
making them do, because they were testing they were injecting certain portions of DNA of reptilian DNA to make them violent, and they wanted to see if by command, if you command them, they're just humanoid, hybrids basically. If you command them to kill somebody, would they do it? Do they have that human aspect in them left? Or should we add more DNA of a reptilian or some other species to make them more violent? And you could
Mm.
see that all, and it was bothering you. It was bothering your soul that they were using your DNA for that, to creating such evil beings.
Uh-huh. Um, okay. So that should be gone.
It's gone already.
Um, I think that I might be connected to some young female soldier, American soldier, and I don't know how. She's fairly young and blonde. She was very happy that she showed herself to me, and she wasn't being malicious. She was just, I think, trying to reach out.
It's it comes back to that idea where I see souls who are lost, disincarnated ones, were trying to search for help, and they would try to look for somebody who was looking bright, even though you had this plastic, um it's a cocoon over you, plastic looking. I mean, it wasn't plastic, it's just like energy. You could still shine brightly, and they would come to you and try ask for help. But because they can't really communicate, and you wouldn't be able to understand much, you basically telepathically could understand they're looking for your help, but you didn't yet acquire the knowledge how to do it. That's why
So you're saying she was passed away?
Yeah, she lost her physical body. I see a lot
Hmm.
of people coming by your energy sphere. I mean, people, souls who lost their physical bodies at the earth level.
Okay.
But they look like people because they still keep that shape and form of that person who just died.
Hmm. I see. I see. Okay. Um, I have a very, very deep connection with Tiamat, and I don't know why that is. Or Sophia, the whole story of the fallen goddess, Sophia.
Because you've been studying it. You're very much, I told you, you go to different universes to study them because you're curious how it works. And you weren't necessarily going for Earth to incarnate on it, but you wanted information. It's like you exchange what you got with the other schools of thought, with the schools of creation, and you really energetically you connected to this particular. You resonated with this particular. I don't see you incarnating, being incarnated here. I don't.
Oh.
But I see you energetically connecting to the story because you knew that story before you even came to this universe. You knew all the stories, it's like I'm going to this country, I'm going to read a book about it, and some particular story got to me, in me, stuck in my head, right? That really fascinating how it is. And because you know that the original humans are amazing and the Tiamat is a prototype for Earth, I,
Hmm.
I just see, I just feel that. I don't see you being there.
And I think Tiamat is the same thing as Tara,
Yeah.
Tara.
Oh, yeah. Because first they created Tiamat, and then they decided to create yeah, a planet in the image of it. So they created Terra,
Hmm.
and they start going. I see them as very big, what we call they look like Greek gods, basically Anunnaki. going from Tiamat. What happened there is they used to be original humans on Tiamat, and then it was taken by Anunnaki. And that's when the whole idea of let's create humans but lesser than what the original human is, so we can control them better. And then the other star races came and they created different camps basically that belong to each star race. They wanted to dominate the human race or use it. So, but the whole story comes from, but the original humans lived on a lot of planets, not only on Tiamat. They lived on Lyra, they lived on
Mm-hmm.
Venus, they lived on Mars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get that. I've been, I don't know if this was a screen memory or whether it was truly me, but I think it was truly me because I had a male twin present and they spoke to him and not to me. But I've been in front of that darn council of uh, oppressive males who think that they call the shots. I guess they do call the shots because they didn't even consider me to be spoken like I. They didn't even they considered me so lowly that I wasn't even. They didn't even want to talk to me. They talked to him. But have you? Do you have any idea why uh, my ma- um my male twin and I like there's a male principal missing from me. He's somewhere in the astral or in the etheric.
I don't see any male principle missing from you. I see the big chameleon that I saw before on Orion, the whole race of chameleons. But this chameleon is really like a mutant of a hybrid of a humanoid and chameleon hybrid. And I see him literally like holding a device. A device projects a hologram, and they show you different holographic images of different scenarios, and one goes into another after another after another. And also what they've done in life was that device for you, and they didn't give you to use your free will. It's almost like one thing after another coming, and you only have this many options, two or three max, to choose from, but you didn't really have like one. You couldn't really decide much for yourself. You were kind of like stuck
Mm-hmm.
in this cocoon, and in your mind inside, and trying to figure things out. They really wanted to make you confused. There's like a lot of confusing little things that came up, but there are a lot of overlays to confuse also.
Hmm. So it's very difficult then to know for me when I'm being I'm connecting with my subconscious or my higher self, um, or
Yeah,
when they're just showing me that kind of thing.
no, nobody's gonna show it to you because they're all gone in the portals. And also, you changed the timeline when you got caught by those reptilians. So, and I see all the other
Okay.
17 of you on your spaceship. They got the information from you, and the implants are gone, and the energy bodies are clean, and your original DNA is back to original too. So there's nothing should be influencing you by any means. So if
Okay.
you connect to your own self, and you feel this
Okay.
connection as true self. You'll feel, you'll see more synchronicities, but not like number sequences, but more like you would notice specific when you do something right or you meet the right person. You would start seeing something particular, in particular, that your subconscious would show you. So
Hmm.
you would know that way. So it'll be a whole different type of game, or,
It
in,
will.
yeah.
Okay. All right. So I don't have any clones left or nothing
No,
like that.
everything got disconnected. You disconnected. You remember when you did this and you clapped you like this? This is kind of like your thing. When you do this, stretch out and then clap, and your energy goes on fire. This is just say,
Huh.
yeah, it goes high. But you have this like aura, which is gold, kind of golden, light brown with a little green, but mostly golden. It's, I see.
Do
So
you
I.
do
Mm.
you think that you could go back to my daughter and see if she's got any attachments?
Yeah, she's standing on some sort of round circle, and it's on the rod, and the rod, I see some hand was big. It's low vibrational being from second dimension, feels like demonic something, and he spins
Hmm.
her sometimes on it. Makes her kind of head and energetically, makes her low in energy, and makes her confused. And when you don't want to do anything, you just want to give up type feeling.
Yes. Yeah.
You gave her the information. It's interesting. You're giving her a birthday cake with a balloon stuck in the middle of the cake. It's an interesting creation. And you say it's going to be your new birthday if you use my information.
Hmm.
The cake is made out of fruit. It's really funny. You just eat it and you'll absorb the information. Hmm, interesting. It smells like oranges and mangoes. Well, she might use it later, but for
Okay.
now she put it on the table nearby her chair, because she gets tired of standing on this round little thingy. It's like a platform. Her feet are completely attached to it. She can't even absorb the energies of the earth because of that thing. It's like it's designed that way.
Yes. I believe that. Yeah.
Well, it's up to her now to look at it, to feel it through, to use it or not.
Okay. What what about my son? My middle son.
I just see a lot of those characters today. It's just kind of interesting. I see that little. Mm, Remember that story? I don't. It got out of. I just can't, because in trance, you like 40% of your conscious mind turns off, like logical.
Mm.
You know that figure? It looks like a little boy. Was they in a dressed in like a fluffy a furry coat, but with the hood and like a bear kind of like costume, but it got a
Hmm.
crown on him. and he goes to this land where this monster lives. Yeah,
Oh,
I forgot the book and everything, how it's called,
where
but
the wild things are?
yeah, yeah, I see your son like this. And he's walking, like lifting his legs real high up, marching to some place on a little road in space. And he's
Huh,
saying that I want to explore more. It's not interesting anymore here. I want to disconnect. I want to see more interesting things. I want to experience more.
from Earth, he wants to disconnect.
He wants to disconnect from his physical mind, and his subconscious is saying that he doesn't like his physical mind, what the physical mind is thinking or not thinking, and what the physical mind is not understanding right
Mm-hmm.
now. And he shows up as a
Mm-hmm.
boy of like 8-year-old boy, 7, 8. So you got kind of like frozen in that at that age, um, trying to explore and staying away from his physical body. By the way, that happens sometimes. I've seen it a few times. It's kind of like his subconscious doesn't accept his physical incarnation
Mm-hmm.
because was obviously forced. Because there's a giant snake coming. It looks like a kind of like a glossy, like water snake color, dark green with a little bit of turquoise light to it. But it just whoosh, and it seems like he's making the strides to quickly walk away from the snake, but it keeps following him everywhere he goes.
Oh,
He's not connected to you. You've never been together with him in any incarnations or anything like this.
oh.
But they took him as some sort of. I see him in this kind of like also see him in another picture of him as a little soldier standing straight and looking around and afraid of moving because he thinks that if he moves, the snake would start moving after him, going after him. And it's been pretty much like he's feeling inside that he better not do much, he better not move, because if he does, his energy body, if he does, the snake will get him. So,
So
but the
he's
other
aware
part,
of it.
yeah, and then the other part of him like still stays as a little boy and running to space to explore to distract himself from reality of the snake, and because he doesn't understand how to get rid of it, you gave him a book. You
Mhm.
gave him that book and you wrote in between the lines. That's what you said. Now he has to read in between the lines and understand how he gets rid of the snake.
Okay.
Hmm. He puts his glasses on to read. It's funny.
He's a cute one.
Yeah. This is like,
Uh,
it reminds me like the Snow White and the Gnomes. I don't know. I have no idea why, but in this session, all these cartoon characters are coming up all the time. It's like, or, metaphors from your subconscious. It's
yeah.
all from the stories, from some fairy tales, from all that.
Huh. Well, I did read a lot to them when they were little.
Mm. Hmm. You like them yourself because they remind you about your little worlds.
Yeah, oh, yeah. That's probably it. Yeah. Um, can you see what the mantid was doing to my energy body? He had me on a table and I was stomach down.
The mantis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see like grasshopper type with those legs and arms. Something on the back. There's some chip. I understand. Those round things. Remember I told you those are composed of like there are four of them and each composed of five segments.
Hmm.
The way they inserted them, that's how they inserted them. They inserted them one by one, and then those beads. You know that they sell those magnetic stones for kids to play with, and then they magnetize to each other. It's like he inserted one by one, and he inserted it. He had to do it a few times. It wasn't done in once. He had to do it one by one each time. They would take you on the spaceship and insert it and like bring you back into the body. And so you probably kind of remember one of those instances when they did he did that.
I see. Okay. So I have a mental body and an emotional body and and an etherical.
Etheric, mental, emotional, and astrals usually. Like I see four.
Hmm.
Mm, but it's actually one. Even like the higher self, people separate, but it's the same. It's you. You are inseparable. It's like you're one of the petals on the flower. I mean, you're still one of the petals of the flower,
Mm.
and even though each and every petal experiences different reality, but you're still connected to the center, and that center is your higher self. So you're one.
And where does the soul come in?
Where? From
Like,
where?
no, like, is the soul the same thing as the higher self?
Yeah, the soul is like a fragment of higher self. Higher self is basically is like you as a large energy. Imagine like planet, right? It's large energy. And
Hmm.
your essence is a large energy. You actually can make a planet out of your energy. You can make an universe out of your energy. You can expand any way you want because in reality, you're one little speckle of light, and that speckle of light can expand beyond belief and form whatever that is you want to form. It's very hard for the human brain to understand, but I also see that everything I see, all the universes, all this field with universes all lined up, and it's endless, it can fold up together in one little beam of light, in one little sparkle of light. And then the sparkle of light can then unfold again into all the universes. It's how do you explain that? I don't know.
That's a tough one.
Hmm.
It
Yeah.
is.
Because it's really what it comes down to for everybody to understand that it's all in your head. It's true what the expression says, because what you believe in, you create because you are a creator. You create from nothing. You create from your own self, from your own energy. And it unfolds in front of you like events of your life, one after another, one after another, as if you were rolling out the rug in front of you.
Mm.
But that's when you don't have attachments. It's rolling out perfectly the way you want it. You just let it flow in neutrality. You don't oppose anything, you don't get scared of anything. You try not to produce extreme emotions.
Right.
And that's the key to master.
Right. Yeah. That. that is something that all my life they've done is it feels very contrived, like the situations, encounters with people, and I feel like it's contrived, like it's they're doing it so that I will react. And
Mm-hmm.
I have in the last it's taken me until maybe the last year to realize what's going on, and I am not as reactive anymore. But I had, yeah, my childhood was very tough. So, uh, yeah, there was a lot of stuff buried that I had to work through. But I've had a lot of help um, working emotions through my body, like during the night when I sleep. So something is, you know, some part of me is working really hard to be healthy.
Mm, because that's your subconscious is always striving to keep the body healthy. That's the only way to have experiences because all soul wants is to have experiences.
That that silly soul
Yeah.
with his experiences.
Right. So,
So you don't think that there is like a, you don't, you know how New Age talks about the monad and the oversoul and all that.
they make it everything so complicated. It really is not that complicated. You see how, remember, Matrix tries to keep you in fear and in complexity of the creation. They tries to explain to you everything in a complex way. So
Mm-hmm.
all your life you're trying to figure something out when in reality you don't need to figure anything out. You just need to reach for inside. You don't need to go and take one course after another nonstop all your life or go to this master, this healer and one healer after another,
Mm-hmm.
and try them all. No, it's all about you making a loop and coming back to your own self and understand that you only need yourself for everything. And even the understanding as you are as an independent, unique, autonomous creator of anything you want to create around yourself. As I said, you can create your own universe, your own home, your own planets, your own beings on the planets, everything you want to see there, you can create all by yourself. So, all by yourself, you also can create your truth, your untruth. You can create your own, you can come up with all kinds of terminology. You can compare your soul to a mushroom. You're, the base of the mushroom, the head is this, or the higher self is the head of it. I mean, you can come up with anything you want. This is all just
Mm-hmm.
terminology. It really is matrix kind of idea, numbers, codes, explanations through words. It should be felt through. It's
Mm-hmm.
like I'm just one and I'm powerful. And there's nothing to be afraid of. Literally nothing. And when you really, but you can't just know it in theory, like repeat after me. No, you have to feel through it. It has to be in your heart forever, and nobody could ever change that for you because you know it inside, and it's very ingrained in you. And that's when you become powerful, indeed. And that's when you create, and that's when you don't need any of this teachings,
But
nothing.
it seems like our my subconscious has a mind of her own, and it's and so
It used to. It's
who's
not.
creating?
It does not anymore. Remember, what was before the session has changed now.
Okay,
So
all
now
right,
you're one.
okay, all right. I'll remember that.
So if you
Thanks,
want,
Oksana.
sure. These mushrooms, these fairies, these butterflies, everything, birds. Oh my, you should start drawing things.
You should try and find the name of that little critter from Star Wars that you said I remind you of. And
Grogu. Oh,
yeah,
I send it to you. My kids wear the t-shirts. They're obsessed with that. Even pajamas he has to have Grogu on it. Let me turn it off. I'll show it to you.
okay.
No problem. A lot of people obsessed with him.